All right, hi there. This is Rihole Bitata from Steam Power, and today I have an exciting guest with me. His name is Ricardo Johnson. He's a sports scientist and also the founder and creator of Not Just for Football. He is here today because he wants to share with you his latest project. Actually, it's not latest project. I think it's a project. He will tell you himself that where he's been working for, he's working at this project for a long, long time, and he wants to share with you his ideas. I posted a few weeks ago that he wants to engage disadvantaged youth with science and mathematics using cyclist. Is that correct? Yeah, cycling.
Yeah,
So cycling.
cyclists
Yeah,
or bikes
yes,
in
thank you.
variety of
Yeah,
capacities.
that's right. Cycling as the backdrop for engaging the youth. And we here at Steam Power believe that hands-on approach, that's what he's doing, is the right way forward if we want to engage young people. Believe me when I tell you that education is not only about grades, and we need to start looking at other ways and we can engage very talented youth out there.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Ricardo Johnson. Good afternoon, Ricardo.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
All right,
Not too bad.
excellent, excellent. So I think we need to start introducing you to the audience, because people I know you for quite a while, but people don't know your background. So you need to tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about yourself and how everything started.
Okay. So essentially I grew up, my family is from the Caribbean, my mum's Jamaican, and I grew up in a cricket house and principally having a love for sport, not so much engaging in school academically, but having a real love and a passion for cricket. Especially when the West Indies played England, and always wanting West Indies to beat England, essentially.
Mhm.
And as a interest in cricket, it was a natural progression to, I was always fascinated by the West Indies fast bowlers, and there was always a lot of these articles and documentaries in the 1980s. Why is it that the West Indies were able to produce all of these fast bowlers? So, as well as my individual passion for cricket and watching the West Indies play cricket and playing cricket myself, there's underlying principles of what makes a good fast bowler. And then biology comes into it, physiology comes into it. There is some topics that people don't want to talk about in terms of slavery and the plantation and creating the perfect physical specimen, the athletic specimen. And eugenics, I believe, is the terminology. So the whole thing around physiology and the physicality of what creates a good fast bowler, that naturally led me towards sports science and the type of training that's involved, the type of fitness that's involved. And it then grew away from cricket and started generically looking at how do you keep somebody physically fit in sport for them to work and operate at an optimum.
All right. So where did your journey start?
And
Start in Jamaica, or did you start when you arrived?
no, the journey started in the UK. It started in the UK. Going back to the Caribbean a few times, back and forth. And I started my educational journey after not doing very well at school. I was excluded from one school and then permanently excluded from a second school after my mum decided to move me. So I was 16, no qualifications, um, and but having a real interest and a passion for sport
So what's
and
the
this
what
whole
was the
thing around
turnaround?
fast
What was the
bowling.
turnaround then? What turned
The
around that
turnaround
fire?
was,
Yeah.
yeah, what really turned me around was I realized that not only it's not just about playing cricket, but there is a science to the physiology of the fast bowler. And then those principles can be generically applied to anyone doing any sport. So In my late teens, I investigated certain things, and then I went to college and done a few fitness qualifications and done an access course at the College of North East London. And that access course led me to university. I studied sports science. And after finishing my sports science degree, I found that my journey hadn't finished, because I then got interested in not only just the physiology of fitness and training, but sports injuries.
So who supported
So after,
you? Sorry to cut you. So who supported you
sorry,
while you were at college? Did you have any mentors?
I had,
You had ongoing support,
I didn't,
uh, given
yeah.
the history that your previous history?
Initially, I didn't have any mentors initially. When I went to college and I done my access course, one particular lecturer, a gentleman called Hesketh Benoit, who still stayed on me in my journey, he became like my first educational mentor. After going to university and completing, I used to liaise and engage with Hesketh, but once going into professional football, I didn't know any physios or any sports scientists or any sports therapists who were working in football. So after graduating and going in that industry, I had to build up a network from scratch, and I had to make a network of people to help me.
All right. Can I ask you one more thing? How come you didn't end up in doing a sports scientist or being a sports scientist for cricket teams, and you transitioned into football? How did that happen?
Most of my friends at school, they had trials for football clubs and not cricket. So I had a very small network of Caribbean friends who were into cricket, and I had another network of black British friends, white and black, who were into football. So within the two networks, the pool of people who went for football trials and got involved in football clubs was bigger than my Caribbean Jamaican network who played cricket. And I started to apply the principles across every sport. Yeah.
Excellent.
When I was in my second year at university, I was doing some fitness lab testing, and we were doing it on the exercise bike, and we were monitoring breathing rate and oxygen consumption, and we were monitoring blood pressure levels and heart rate. And at that particular point, I'd done that lab research document for my second year assignment, and that's when I was introduced into the science of cycling.